Yesterday was kind of a weak day. We didn't check the volume. I was very curious for such a weekday. Oh no, I do remember. Yeah, we checked the volume. There was more volume yesterday. QQQ. We're opening a smidge up this morning. Not even a smidge. We're reclaiming in pre-market quite a bit. And I do see a dark pool print down below, so maybe we'll visit that. I don't know, but remember we talked about last night. Maybe we're going to get some kind of panic follow through and break pivot down here, and that could be a big scoop up point. But it's looking like we're already at a decent scoop up point. It's oversold type of thing. But with rates the way they are, we're probably going to stay repressed on the market for some time, until the Fed story changes. The market's going to be held back. And like we talked about last night, 2024 is probably going to be entirely flat because it's an election year and no one really wants with conviction to go all in on something that they don't know the 4-year outcome of yet. So, but once they do, then you can start to get into names, so once the election is over next year, they'll probably allow the market to take direction. Not just the market, but certain names, could be a cleansing kind of thing where, new stocks that are set up and ready to go in November of next year start to run. Depending on the governance that's going to be over riding everything for the 4 years to follow. So it could be, I don't know, weed stocks and socialism type stocks, or it could be, stronger, innovative growth stocks. Something just popped up, PBTS. Let me take a quick look at that. And I am live on all the systems, but I did want to just let everybody know to come on in. We're trading now. Let me do that. Cigar Yoda, are you in here? Who are you in the Zoom? Or who are you? I just know you as... Are you in here right now? I just know you as Cigar Yoda. I don't know. You probably don't know that I don't know who you are. And you're probably like, dude, it's me. But anyway, maybe you're not in here. All right. We have a member, Cigar Yoda. And you're way cool, and we love you, but who are you? Okay, I'm sending out an APB to let everybody know to come on in, even though it's fucking Friday, and it's looking pretty lame out there. Something we talked about last night, since I got some of different ones of you here, in addition to who was here last night, is that let signals be your signal. That is some fucking sage advice. Like, write that down. But the point being is the quality of your signals that are showing up, let those be a signal as to whether or not you should take any signals. And we, kind of differentiating factor we talked about last night, but they should be like, quality signals should be quality names or just names in general that, are heard of, over $4 and trading over an average of 400,000 shares, per day. When those start to signal, you'll know something's happening good. And the more of those come up and the better quality those are and the bigger caps they are, the stronger all the signaling is becoming. That's, you can start to ramp the size up. Right now we have total anemia. We've got, for the last week and a half, last 10 days of trading, we got nothing but maybe a couple biotechs here and there and just bullshit, and everything's failing out. And so the quality of the signals is low. So the size of your trades should be low. It's just a time to dabble now. It's just I can't think of the word, but it's just a time to just dilly dally at most and just wait it out. Wait out till the signals will start to show you. That's why this morning I was very interested in the fact that Beely, XPEV, Futu, Tiger, Lee, PDD, Baba, JD, Baidu were all up, and then I realized, wait a minute, those are all Chinese stocks. And so that's saying nothing about the quality of our market, but it is saying a little bit about the quality of the Chinese market in relationship to us. But that's probably all it is that China is stronger now because we have a weaker market going on, and so even, you wouldn't want to necessarily trade the Chinese names, or maybe, but the quality of our signals is no bueno for our markets. So we look at this one MLGO and we know that the quality of signals is shitty. And so we know, and so I'm looking for it to short. It's up parabolically. And so, it can be a parabolic short on some of the crackdown of the trend line here. Where is it? Here. Any of these sort of supportive lines. A breakdown would be a lovely signal that kind of like good to go for a short. And then you put your stop at the, top of the candle sticks there. Trust a hypocrite and former Hollywood man whore. God damn, you said it, Mike. That is exact. Oh, by the way, which of you sent me these books? Thank you very much. I just forget which was which. I wanted to say thank you. This is what you guys sent me for my birthday. Whoa, it doesn't even show me. I got to do this. Okay, we got Jesse Livermore's Methods of Trading Stocks. I've already been blasting through it. Freaking love it. Thank you very much. Whoever sent me that, thank you. And put that over here. Economics, Facts, and Fallacies by Thomas Sowell. Sweet. Haven't cracked it open yet. Totally going to dig that. Thank you. And Sources of Power, How People Make Decisions by Gary Klein, the 20th anniversary edition. Thank you. This is going to be a blast going through these. Just love this. I just absorb these. When I was a kid, maybe 9 years old, I would buy software, right? For my parents would get me software for my dream, which was at that time writing music for movies. So music making on machines. What time is it? Just want to make sure we got enough time for this. Okay. And at that time, they would come with a manual. Like now we have PDF manuals. For the very sophisticated software, it would be 1,000-page manual. Well, back then it was in paper. It was a spiral-bound manual. I mean, you would get software in a package. You'd open it up, you'd install it with discs, and you had a manual. That manual was in the bathroom. I would read that manual day and night, nonstop, front to back, in the bathroom, wherever you could read that, I would read it. So. And all that's nonfiction, and that's, nonfiction, manuals are nonfiction. I love nonfiction, makes you smarter. What the fuck does fiction do for you? Except turn you into a liberal. If any of you are liberals, I apologize. But, and I respect your side. But, real stuff, information, that's great, good to absorb. And I love it. I digest it. So thank you very much. I really appreciate it, Mike. Thank you very much. And everybody who sent me those gifts, thank you so much. Thank you. That might have been all you, Mike. Thank you. Really going to look forward to reading that. Okay, guys, the market's opening in 1 minute and 28 seconds. And we don't have hardly any good names here going on. Just this MLGO, and I'm really looking for a short on it, but it's holding up. So it's parabolic today. So if it does signal maybe a 1 minute opening range breakout, and you want to go long and you want to trade long today, maybe it's good for that. But I'm kind of scouting it for a short. It looks like an excellent swing short. I want to see if today it does something so that I can short it, so I can, be short on it. And in that manner, I'm going to pull up None to borrow. Is that right? Or is it HGB? None to borrow. Damn. So that's an issue there. Let's go over and see if it has MLGO options. No options, so I can't even short it anyway. So we'll be watching MLGO to see if we can short it. We can't even short it. You know, that's unfortunate. There is this other one, PMO, which happened. This one looks like a great short. PMO? I thought it was PMO. PWR. What is that? Is that the power company in Quanta Services? Is that the Hawaiian power company? I don't know. For some reason, it just had a terrible day yesterday and has become an excellent short. And that's easy to borrow. But I'd like to see what comes up this morning also on my shorts. So MLGO, can't go short on it. So maybe it's going to go long. It's a 1.3 million float. Very low. Very, very low. We pretty much put that in micro float. Anything below 5 mil. Micro float. So be watching it. Be ready to pull the trigger to go long on MLGO for an intraday day trade, scalping type HFT ladder type of trading. Outside of that, we don't really have anything. And that's just a sign. Take that as a signal in and of itself. Let's take a look at the BABA and some of the somebody's ringing the doorbell. I'll be right back. I was like, what the fuck was that? Keep an eye on the Chinese stocks is what I'm saying. Maybe they're going to run today too. Looks like entries on the Chinese stocks, huh? Lithium, LI, whatever the fuck it is. Not on LI. BABA, yes, not on LI. So then, what the hell? So is it not really? Yeah, XPE's falling now. It's mixed. There's nothing going on. You know what I mean? Like if there was something going on, we should grab the tail. But there's nothing going on in aggregate now that I flipped through a bunch of them. MLGO, what did it do? Kind of broke down that trend line, and it's kind of not happening. It looks like an excellent short candidate. Not happening. All right. So there's really nothing to trade this morning. We could talk about the shorting strategy. Maybe we'll find something that way too. FSV. No. Okay, so that was a decent one. Was it power? No, somebody said, oh yeah, sell H. Okay. So what you're looking for shorting, swing shorting, is to some of the goal of the trade is to be in something that's going to be plummeting, right, for a couple of days, like 1 to 7 days, typically 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 days, right? There's a little bit of kind of a sweet spot about it all. Okay, that's what we're looking for here. But on where? On what? Well, stocks that have done blazingly well, okay, that are decent names, not necessarily shit, although it can work on shit. And then just experienced a catalyst down day. And so this one is a really great example because it rides a somewhat of a fine line. You might not know it. It's like it's right on the edge of qualifying. Okay, let me show you why. So it was yesterday, the day before yesterday, that it put in this big red day. And this was after it had this biggest green day in May in earnings, that just sort of galvanized a run, and it took off and had a huge, what we call catalyst day, what I call catalyst day with catalyst volume. The ensuing days were not that big, but the move, it was a hot stock and it kept going. The move was inevitable. So anyway, it keeps going and everything. And then at some point, it experienced an above average red day, unusual sell-off day. Now at the end of the day, on this day, or near the end of the day, you would have been able to see that it indeed is an unusually strong red sell-off day and above average. And there's really only been 3 above average, that level of, above average days. Hold on. Had to sneeze. And it's the first big, huge red day like that. It doesn't have to be necessarily about price change, It doesn't have to be so dramatic that it's so obvious. This one is less obvious. Some people would be like, oh, nice, it's a pullback, day. But if you really know what the fuck you're looking at, it's clear as day. It's shiny, clear as day that this is an unusual red candle. It means if you were in the swing trade, get all out. And on top of that, go short. Because it's over. And all these people are going to now need to fade their investment. Right? And so the next day it drops all the way down to here, and that's where we are today, dojiing. And then put your stop at the top of the day, worst case scenario of that day you went entry. So you would have got in at 186. I already looked at this. You would have got in at 186 and the stop at 198. It's $11.07. It's $11 of risk, and then it goes from 186 and drops now to 172. That's $14 down. So now you're already up 1 to 1. You're 1.3 to 1, something like that. and holding, and you're going to have to sometimes often sit through some grind up pullback and retesting of just about right around the low of the catalyst day, but it's going to reject, and then it's going to continue down. And then here we have a nice gap that it can fall down. And so that's what you're looking for, that catalyst day. And this is just a mild one. Usually it's much more pronounced, like something on maybe Bud, It's a catalyst day to the downside. Should be fairly obvious. Well, actually, that wasn't fairly obvious, but thematically you could have known that it was a good short. What about Disney? Yeah, there is a cataclysmic down day right there. Okay, so look. This day right here. This is not the best short, but I mean, this is just more obvious. Had a huge bad day. Opened gap down, went down. By the end of the day, you enter at the bottom of the day, somewhere in there, or if you even knew the day was going to bleed out all day, which you probably could, then you could get in at the opening, 1 minute breakdown, and hold all day down, be adding maybe during the day, or just now you're in, have a nice buffer for the whole day. And then look what price does. It goes down and then tests and back rejects. That's what you're looking for. And you wait for that next breakdown. And look at this yellow line. That's like the 10 moving average. You could follow the 10 moving average and then get out on this day here. And so, that's about a 2 or a 3 to 1 short. So you guys really need to, get your shorting skills on. And the reason why I picked Disney or SellH or, some of the bigger caps is they're usually easy to borrow, because where do the shares from easy to borrow come from? Others' accounts. And they have to have lots of them and to have turned on the lending program. So they earn a little bit of money from you when you borrow their shares, right? And then you sell short and then give them back, and you pocket the difference, and they get a small tiny smidge of a fee, and you pay a small tiny smidge of a fee. So the reason why is you go with bigger names is because there's tons of investors in them. They're just, it could be 100 days before it depletes all of the shares short that are out there. 100 days, like 3.5 months. Could be never. I mean, like, imagine if Johnson & Johnson, became a short, that you'll never run out of shares. There's people who will never sell that. Like, it's institutionally owned forever, down to bankruptcy, whatever it is. They're never letting go for a long time. Anyway, so these big caps have shares to short, and you got to be part of a program. You have to have a margin account, or you can get sometimes options, puts. You can get puts, but I recommend shares short if you can get them. Okay. So anyway, that's the setup that I think we should also be looking for is catalyst day to the downside, which I call fall from grace. It makes a difference if it's something that's been up and it's been nice, and then all of a sudden it's the first terrible prognosis it's had. That's it. You want to get in. Don't miss it. The next day it's too late. The risk reward is not there anymore, because it usually bounces back up. You'll be underwater. You can't trade it. So you have to know when they're happening that day. I got a signal here on my fall for graces, FPHAR. No. So anyway, sometimes I get false signals, but be looking for those always. Add those to your arsenal of tricks. Catalyst day to the down. Just as much as we like catalyst days to the upside, in a shitty market, good names are going to start to fail out as well at the beginning. Like we're in, like this is the sweet spot, possibly, of having to find good names experiencing bad moments that are going to just send them down for the next month or 2 or 3. So, you want to have that bag of tricks going. And then the other one is what we were watching on like a MLGO. I posted about this morning in the group, which is parabolic short setup. And unfortunately, we can't find shares to short on this. But anytime, let's get like a 5-minute chart on this and go way, way, way back. Anytime a stock is accelerated parabolically, once it breaks its trend line, that is likely, time to short, because it can't be sustained once it's broken the trend line. It already was crazy. So, something like this, you draw your trend line, it breaks it, you can get in for a swing for a couple days. You can get in when it breaks, add to it when it back tests, and then you're good. This one went like back 80%. Fantastic. And it's doing it again, but unfortunately we can't find shares to short. This is a 5-minute chart, by the way. See how it went? This one has really clearly gone parabolic. That last little chart, not so much. But when they go parabolic, they've been moving at a certain rate and a speed, and then all of a sudden, bam, it just really accelerates. When that breaks down, it's going to, return some, either to the parabolic point or even lower. You can in swing trading land, we call that a bar setup from Bolkowski's book. Do I have that encyclopedia of chart patterns? The Bible of chart patterns by Bolkowski. You can look it up alphabetically. You find bar, BARR, and then it has all the statistics about in a bear market, a bull market, a correction, how many days it's been going up, how many days it's been going down, what you can expect. Is it going to, what's the probability? Is it going to 87% chance of continuing down, and how far, and all that good stuff. That's just the beginning of trading, though. You need to know how, when things go wrong, not what they could do. You need to know, and that's the crazy thing about trading, is it requires so much wisdom, and wisdom is knowing what you don't. Wisdom is knowing what not to do. And good trading requires you to understand when things are not doing what you were expected. It's like in chess, I'll be playing chess, and all of a sudden somebody makes a weird move, right? And then I become involved in that weird move, and now all of a sudden everything's all fucked up, and I don't know what the fuck I'm doing, and shit's everywhere, and I'm trying to make something fucking good happen, and there's pieces everywhere, and it's a goddamn mess, and now I don't know what I'm doing, and then all of a sudden I'm losing because I'm behind the 8 ball, and that's what happens in your trading as well. If you don't know when something's going wrong, you're just gonna lose. You're just gonna get fucked. A lot of trading is having seen everything. It's like being a veteran in the military. It's like, you've seen the action, you've been there, you know what to do when somebody's on your 6, so anyway, MLGO as a long is flying right now. Is anybody in that? While we were talking, the last like 7 minutes, really went up from about 570 to 630. All right, Ben's in. All right, cool deal. It cannot be shorted, so it's got that going for it, which is nice. So we really do not have, other than that, anything really to speak about today. Let's take a look at the Qs and see how they project out for the day. They're projecting right now. How many minutes into the market are we? 25 minutes into the market. It's not a ton of data, but it's projecting to be very strong volume. And since it's dojiing, that can mean there's like rotation going on. How can you have strong volume but no price change? Some rotation going on, but in growth, meaning growth is not dead. It's interesting. Gold is flat. Oil's flat. S&P 500 is fading more, and they're comprised more of value and industrials. than the growth. Growth is kind of holding up. Growth is showing some relative strength right here. Industrials are dropping. Rates dropping. Utilities, defensives, staples, financials, healthcare dropping. Tech holding. Communications holding. Discretionary sideways. That's just a little bit of strength today. Some resilience and growth. It's not selling off. And in fact, defensives are selling off. This is interesting. Interesting. But it's mixed. So we usually expect kind of a choppy, unreliable day when we have that. It's mixed. It's not a rising of tides, not a lowering of tides kind of day. On those days, we can expect all day grind up or all day grind down. Today's tricky day, and it looks like on decent volume. So stay on your toes. And all right, let's move back into the group and cut the stream here. And as things come up, talk about them. Let everybody know. Don't be selfish. Share. Okay, I'll be right there. And I got to go now. All right, see you in the group. All right, bye.